Hey, what's up guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about Bitwig, things that I like, things that I enjoy, things that make it stand out. And I may or may not be rambling in this video, but we'll get through it together. Things that I like the VST bridging and the ability to use 32 and 64-bit VSTs. Even if you use a 32-bit VST, it can be run in its own independent process, so it can use up to 4 gigabytes. It's not shared, and that's really good. Of course, you can use a 64-bit plugin, and you won't get out of memory errors. So for those large contact instruments, you won't be running out of memory, and that's good. Plug-in delay compensation. I like the how it handles plug-in delay. I did a video comparing it to Ableton, and it performed far better, and it was very impressive. And you should check it out because it was kind of eye-opening. And of course, sandboxing. I like that you can sandbox to run its own independent process. And so if one plugin crashes, it doesn't take your whole system down, and that's really good. Which makes the actual the program more stable, which is good. Browsing. I like the browsing capability. You have a bunch of tabs here, and it's kind of they're all there, but say, okay, well, this is all your audio. This tab would be audio, your multi-samples, and I like this. You can have your own music location. And clips. Well, what is clips? Well, clips will scan all of your MIDI clips. So say if you're like me, you have a lot of sample packs, and some of them contain MIDI clips. You can get to them in here, and they're all laid out, and of course you can search within that. Even the plugins, or even the MIDI clips in your VST plugin folder, which is really good. And you can, explore your files and all your installed content. The browser is really, really nice. What's the other one? Audio events and looping. This is really cool. So say, create an audio event. I want to create a bar. I just double click, right? And then I can go, all right, let's find a percussion. So this is how they handle loops. So typically, what I would usually do is I go to percussion, and I just drag percussion in here, right? And all that, and then I select that and then consolidate. You don't need to do that. You just double click into this little audio event here, and you can drag all your fun stuff in here. And it's into its own clip, and it's a lot more efficient than consolidating and all that. One thing I'd like in version 2.0 would be kind of a layered version of this, so you can layer sounds, but it's fine. Right, so you'd have that, and you can, let's make that a little bit more musical. And we'll add one more. And then we'll do that. All right. So say if we want to kind of loop this one section, right? So we want to loop half a bar and then turn that into a bar, or 4 bars or 8 bars. What you do is you kind of drag that, but we can do a better idea. We can do it right in the clip here, right? This is what I really like. You drag the top, and it just makes it shorter, right? You'll notice that there's a little symbol here, right here. Right, but if we drag the bottom, it'll change to loop, right? So we can bring that down, right? And then stretch it out, and then it automatically loops. And I think that's genius. You give me a million years, I wouldn't be able to figure that out, right? So you can take anything and just squish it and then turn it into a loop. And it saves a bunch of mouse clicks and a bunch of consolidating and freezing and bouncing. Right, and it just works. You know what I mean? And I like it a lot. That's one of the things I like. And yeah, another thing I like is our modulation chains. So you can just basically modulate anything, any value, even if it's like a VST. So we can just go crazy and modulate that, and that worked. Right, and you can go nuts. So you can add a vibrato. You can even step things, and you can modulate modulators just by dragging it in to our little effects chain here, and you can go really crazy, right, and get some bleep bloop analog sounds. like so. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's that. Tabs. I like the tabs. So here's how you basically, you click a little Bitwig guy here to deactivate the audio engine, and you can start a new track. So let's say if you want to work on like a mix, like a song, and you want two mixes, you want a radio mix and like an extended mix, or you want to work on the original and a remix or another version at the same time, and you want to go between them, you can. And you can have like a bunch of tabs open, and that's really awesome because you can go between projects and it's not a headache. So you have multiple projects open at once. You can't have multiple projects open with the audio engine enabled, but still very cool. You know what I mean? And that works. Yeah, the forthcoming modular system. This is really, really awesome. So like every one of these devices is built in a modular system, right? So you will get like kind of like a little wrench in version 2.0, and you can open it up and you can edit anything, and it's kind of like a reactor in that way. So what I was gonna probably do is like figure it out the best I could, and I can do really cool things. Like I can have a plugin that, or not plugin, I would have a device that would be just a couple knobs, and it would send MIDI CC to like my hardware gear, and one would be like a filter cutoff or whatever, or I could, you know, have different modulations, and that way I could have ready control there when I need it for specific functions for my MIDI controllers that my hardware synths that I always use, and that's really useful. And say if you want, you know, your polysynth to have a 4 more oscillators, you could probably do that, you know, within, I don't know, a little bit, and you can have four generators or 3, or you could kind of model another piece of gear. And with the modular system, the devices are already there, and the effects in particular are always they're rock solid, because I did the comparison. The audio engine and how it works is pretty solid. So the possibilities are kind of endless. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And another thing that I noticed is the maximum BPM is 666. So I like that little thing that they did. That's pretty funny. But yeah, those are the things that I like in Bitwig. So I hope you like things in Bitwig too. All right, take care and have a good one.